Can you ride a bicycle? Maybe with training wheels? Maybe you're not ready for a bicycle yet and you're riding a tricycle? Well, that's awesome. I loved riding bicycles. And I say loved because honestly, I don't get on two-wheeled vehicles too much anymore because I have a tendency to wreck when I'm on bicycles or anything with two wheels. And so I don't do it a whole lot, but I used to, and they were a lot of fun. And even though I would wreck, I would get right back up and get on the bicycle. And even though I don't ride bicycles a whole lot anymore, I love reading books where kids or people or animals ride bicycles. And I say animals because today's book that I want to tell you about is called Duck on a Bike, and it is by David Shannon. Now, this book is really, really funny because in this book, Duck gets this wild idea that he can ride a bike. Now, personally, I think his legs might be a little bit too short, but looking at the illustrations in the book, it seems to work out okay for him. But our friend Duck rides all over the barnyard and he says hello to all of his friends, and they all think that it's kind of weird seeing a duck on a bicycle. But it is really, really fun, and at the end, everybody discovers how much fun it is to ride a bike. So if you're looking for a fun book, maybe you're not ready for a bicycle yet, but you'll definitely be ready for Duck on a Bike by David.
For the activity in this video, I would like to show you how to make an I Spy bottle. Now, just like Duck was able to find all of his friends as he rode the bike around the barnyard, sometimes it's fun to play games with your child where you have to look to try to find different things. Well, basically, I Spy. Now, I Spy is a great game to play with your little ones, but what if they want to play and you're not available? Well, that's where something like this I Spy bottle comes in really handy. And it only takes a few objects to make. Now, the first thing you're going to need, of course, is a bottle. I recommend a plastic bottle with a wide mouth and smooth sides. That way, with the sides being smooth, it won't obstruct the vision of the child and they can see inside. Now, if you want to make it more challenging, well, then get one that does have sides that aren't smooth. But a wide mouth really will make your job easier to put the stuff inside of the bottle. Next, you need something to put in. I am going to use little fun foam letters, but of course you can use whatever you want your child to find. So you could use these little fun foam letters, which you can purchase pretty inexpensively. You could also use buttons, little plastic animals or figurines, things like that. Basically anything you want them to find, as long as it fits, it works. Next, you need something to put in the bottle to obscure these objects. Now, I'm going to use rice. You could also use dried beans. I've seen a lot of people who've made these where they use dried beans because they're already different colors. And while beans maybe are a little bit more visually interesting, my issue with beans is the fact that typically they fit up nostrils and frequently go inside of nostrils of little ones. Whereas the rice, I know, not as quite as exciting, but there's not as much obstruction issues, shall we say. So once you've gathered your materials of your bottle, your objects you're going to put inside, and whatever you're going to use to obscure those objects, you're ready to construct this. First thing you're going to want to do, make sure the bottle is dried out, and then using a sheet of paper, construct a cone or a funnel. This will make it easier to put your objects inside the bottle. If not the little objects you want to be found, it will definitely make putting the rice or the beans in the bottle easier. Now, you can layer it the way that I'm doing it in this video with putting a little bit of rice and then a couple of objects and then some more rice and then a couple more objects, or you could honestly just put all the objects in and then all the rice in. Because ultimately, as you twist and turn the bottle, everything's going to get mixed up. But by doing it this way of the layers, you don't have as much effort to get the bottle basically mixed up for the first time you're looking for things. Now, after you get your bottle filled and you get the last of your rice or your beans in there, you're going to want to make sure and put the lid on very tightly because, of course, we don't want to have to clean up this mess. Now, you could put a little bit of glue around the rim if you really want to help. I've also seen where parents maybe put a little bit of duct tape around the seams and maybe even some ribbons to pretty it up. But once you've done that, that's all there is to it. You just twist and turn. Now, you could make a list of objects for your child to find if they're pre-reading, and maybe you could tell them to find certain letters, certain animals. Otherwise, it's pretty much a self-explanatory toy that you can construct, and you can make several different versions of these, and then just simply give it to your child and let them have fun adventuring and looking for the hidden objects inside our bottle. I hope you guys had fun making this I Spy bottle. and I will see you next time. Happy hunting!
Now, in each one of these SJPL Sprouts videos, we're going to give you a tip that you can use to grow your child into becoming a lifelong reader. Now, it's nothing too heavy and too preachy and too wordy, just simple things that you can do with your child to help them nurture a love of books and reading. You know, as soon as you become a parent, one thing that you start hearing is how important it is to read to your child every day. Now, you might hear that on TV, you might read it in a parenting magazine, hear it from a children's librarian, and while that is true, and there's plenty of studies that show that children that are read to a certain amount of time each week typically go on to have higher standardized test scores and a better academic career and things like that, realistically, it can be difficult to find 15 to 20 minutes to sit down and read every single day. I mean, bedtime's a good time to squeeze it in, but if it's just not going to happen, there's no reason for you to feel guilty about it. Personally, I like setting a weekly time goal. So set a time that you want to read each week. So if you miss a day, no big deal. You just pick it up the next day. But a tip that I've given a few different parents over the years to make sure that they can squeeze in at least a little bit of reading each day, and not an entire picture book or an entire chapter of a chapter book, but just a little something that you can read with your child that could possibly further more discussion, is to check out from your library a joke book. The libraries are loaded with joke books. They are children's joke books, and they are filled with wonderfully awful children's jokes. But sometimes those are the best ones. And it's really easy to sit down and read through a page or two of jokes and laugh with your child than it is to find that 15 minutes a day. You should still strive for that, but on those days where you can't, sitting down and reading something like jokes is a really easy way to get some reading time in. Another easy way to get some reading time in is to look for facts books. There's all kinds of books out there, like fun facts about ocean animals and fun facts about cars. Checking out a book that is loaded with just facts and tidbits is another great way to squeeze some reading in short little bursts, but will lead to possibly more discussion with your child, which is also a great pre-reading skill. So getting a joke book, getting a facts book, and just sitting down and reading a couple of those each day with your child is a great way to at least get some reading in. Have fun. We'll talk to you later.